Kelly from North Hill Soap Company, and I'm back for week 2 of the Great Cake Soapworks Soap Making Challenge, and we're doing Elemental Swirl this time. This is all my oils as well as my essential oils. I'm working with lavender and patchouli today. You can see a little bit of rosemary oleoresin back there that I use to extend the shelf life. And here's the lye mixture, so I'm going to add them and we'll give them a little blend. This soap is going to be a remake, or a limited edition probably, of a soap that I often make as part of my regular lineup called Earth Goddess. And it's always been a clay soap with a high clay content, but I haven't yet settled on a look for it that I'm really happy about. So this is a good opportunity to try something different. So I've calculated that I need about 6 ounces in each of my containers. So I'm going to find 6 ounces on all these containers, and I don't know how well that's going to work because 6 ounces is not a whole lot of soap to blend. Alright, well, it's definitely not 8 equal portions, but we're going to go with that. So let's start with the light colors so that I don't have to rinse my stick blender in between. As I said before, I'm using clays because it's Earth Goddess soap. I like to use a lot of clay in these, and I'm not sure how much clay I'm going to have to put in to achieve the colors that I'm looking for. So I'm going a 1/4 teaspoon at a time. So let's see, for the dark colors, again, these dark colors are quite dark. I find the dark clays are they make quite a dark color. And I find it hard to get good color variation. They tend to all sort of end up gray, 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 and gray, like my last soap. So this is French green clay, so I'm adding a teaspoon of that. This is black. Midnight Black Australian clay, and again I'm just going to start with just a hint, an 1/8 of a teaspoon, not even an 1/8 of a teaspoon maybe, because that one is dark like the Australian red reef clay. And the last one is washed blue Australian clay. This one I hardly ever use actually because I'm not a really big fan of the color. It's just sort of gray. I was, when you hear washed blue, I was hoping for blue. But let's start with just a tiny bit of that one. So here's my mold. This is the 5-pound silicone mold liner from Brambleberry, and I was just really too cheap to pay for the whole mold, especially shipping to Canada from Brambleberry is really expensive. So it was enough to pay for the to get the silicone here. So I used this is one of those trading card boxes that people use to keep their soap in. And of course it's going to be covered in soap batter obviously, so we'll see how long it lasts. Okay, now for my lines, I want to use pink clay. Pink salt, Himalayan pink salt. And I thought this was interesting. I'll just show you. This is the Himalayan pink salt that I just bought from Bulk Barn, and it's slightly pink and it's nice. But compare that to the Himalayan pink salt I bought before from Voyager here in Canada. It's really different. So granted, this was a lot less expensive than this. So what I'm going to do is use the cheap one in the center and the pretty one on top. Alright, that should be lots and lots. And let's see how solid this one is now. Oh yeah, that's some solid soap. Okay, well, press it on, put it on there and press it down, I guess. This one is going to be much more chunky swirls than the bottom one. And then I'll use my premium Himalayan pink salt to go over the top. And this pink salt, I find it quite expensive, the Himalayan pink salt, so I don't want to go too crazy with it because it's expensive. Alright, I'm going to spritz it with alcohol and put it to bed. Ta-da! So it's the next day and I've cut the soap. I was interested to see that the salt line that cuts through it here, it was definitely a little bit harder in the center. I could feel when I got to that, and we know that salt hardens soap. But it was interesting, you know, not mixed or anything. It mixed itself a bit and made a slightly harder line of soap in the center. It wasn't difficult to cut through, but I could feel it for sure. So you can see all the different clays going on here. The pink clay, red clay, that's that yellow clay and the uncolored soap. And in the bottom we've got the French green clay, the black reef clay, uncolored soap, and light swirls of that washed blue Australian clay that seems to have lightened the soap. I'd have to play with that a little bit more before I was sure that it was the Australian clay that made it lighten, but it's interesting anyway. I might have to play with that. So overall I'm happy with how it turned out. I don't think I would do it again because it's just too many dishes and I prefer simplicity. But I might keep this salt line idea and just do a one color swirl on top with the one or two maybe with the uncolored soap, and the same thing with the dark colors on the bottom, because I'm happy with the rock sort of feeling we've got going on here. With the name Earth Goddess, it seems to work. And the only other thing I'll say is you'll notice that the soap is slightly slanted to this side, so my cardboard form for my silicone molds I don't think is going to work. Back to the drawing board. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody else's elemental swirls, and we will see you all next week.